All right. I know what you guys are thinking. Where have I been? Honestly, nobody probably thought that. Y'all probably forgot about. I know y'all forgot about me. Nah, but I recorded a video on, the whole Zunisha stuff. Then it got deleted. Then I recorded it again. Then it got deleted again. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna just take a break because that literally lost me like a week of time. It was so good, bro. It was like 20 minutes of content. It was crazy, but that's besides the point. We're back in February and we are going to go ham. Before I get into the video, if you could please hit that like button, subscribe, turn on post notifications, go in that description and hit that Discord link. I started streaming, so definitely hit that Twitch as well, but you will be updated on all of my stuff, the chapter and everything. And we might even do some movie nights or some chapter discussions if you want to pull up. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the Grim Reaper. Not only that, I want to spice it up because everybody basically has been making videos on this. I want to talk about not only the Grim Reaper, but do gods and other entities exist in One Piece? And on top of that, I want to talk about, is this even the Grim Reaper in actuality, or is it a hallucination? Is it Brook? Is it something else? I guess we can kind of address the whole Grim Reaper thing first, because honestly, this is such an interesting topic. I feel like every time Zoro has been on screen in like the past 50 chapters, it's just been pure greatness. So me as a Zoro fan, it automatically sparked my interest. The first point I want to address is that it's Enma. So this is a real interesting topic because it might be, if you go back to the flashback with him and Kuzabaro, hopefully I said his name right, there was some discussion about how every blade is meant to kill, that is made by, high tier swordsmith and everything, and each blade has a personality of its own, and with each blade there is a purpose and a will that the blade must complete. This goes into the whole dialogue with Zoro and himself when he's laying on the floor and he's like, okay, I know now, Enma is testing me. And well, it seems that he hasn't mastered this yet, because he said very late on in the fight where it was about to finish that if he didn't finish it soon, the swords would kill him. So I'm going to be assuming that he hasn't, fulfilled, or I guess passed this test of Enma. So it's very interesting because Enma is actually the king of hell. It's meant to split hell. The live stage was, said to be hell. And presumably at the end of this arc, after the raid is everything, or maybe even now, the drug is going to start to take place and he's going to start to feel the pain and all that. So imagine if this hallucination or maybe a kind of manifestation of Enma is what he is seeing, and then, maybe he has to fight the Grim Reaper in his mind and all that. He's not going to literally, kill the Grim Reaper. So he beats him in his mind or whatever, and then now he has conquered Enma. That one has, probably the most explanation out of any of them, but I don't know if I'm fully on board with that yet, but it is nonetheless a very interesting thought. The next one, and the most likely to me, obviously personally, is that it's kind of like a hallucination of the Grim Reaper, and I think this could result in a very, very cool character moment, and specifically a character moment, not like a badass. Obviously, it probably will be badass, but what people have wanted from Zoro and mostly Oda this entire post-time skip, people have, complained that, these characters are getting sidelined, and obviously Zoro has been one of the main suspects of this criticism because he hasn't really had a huge role in any of the kind of main stuff, the main plot points and everything up until Wano, but now it's taking full effect and it is just crazy. And what I mean by a character moment is that he faces death, and there's a callback to Arlong Park where he's like, not even the Grim Reaper can take me out. When Oda made Zoro say this, and now having him potentially face the literal Grim Reaper, most likely it is in his head, we get to see where he's literally faced with death and he gets to reflect on it. Anytime Zoro kind of gives us a viewpoint of his, it is so interesting, and especially because the whole idea of death and everything, that has always been a theme that is way more compatible to Zoro than anyone else. We obviously seen him, his first debut, he was on death's door kinda, and then throughout the entire pre-time skip, we were faced with it. You cut the Baratier, and the most damage he had been dealt up until that point, and probably one of the worst shapes he's ever been in. We were given an amazing character moment when he was faced with death. Look at every one of them. You look at that, you look at Through the Bark, where he was faced with death once again in the worst pain imaginable, and we had one of his best moments and nothing happened. Arlong Park with the Grim Reaper moment and everything, and Arlong obviously, grabbing him by his neck and saying, hold up, is this even a human? How could someone that is a human survive all of these scars? So in conclusion, I think it would be very cool if we seen his reflection on death and his thoughts on death and his viewpoints and everything with death right in front of him, and in a more literal sense since this time. But moving on, we have the possibility that this is actually the Grim Reaper, and this ties into the other topic, which is, do gods and higher beings in this universe actually exist? So I am kind of inclined to say that higher beings just in general, not really specifically with this instance, do exist, because there are just so many instances where this world of One Piece defies all logic that we know of. Look at Enies Lobby where Usopp is talking to a ship. Yes, let that sink in. He was talking to a ship. Was this magic? Was this some type of manifestation? What was it? We also have a world where you can feed and animate objects devil fruits and give them powers. We know different religions exist and different kind of like folk tales or whatever. We know that the Shandorians had some type of god which Nolan actually, killed or whatever. He had, killed a god. It wasn't a literal god, but we know that there are people that worship these things. So I think the possibility of like a higher entity actually existing is possible. We also have things like lights and people going out when they've been knocked out and presumably died. And then there are the voices and everything. This is a world that defies all logic we know in the real world. So I think it's safe to assume that there is a possibility, even if it is the slightest, that these beings actually exist. Going back to what I said a little bit earlier, there are kind of some folk tales in this world, and one example is the Omibozu. Essentially, in Fishman Island, Watatsumi in Fishman Island was mistaken for one of these things, but it seems to be more like the Florian Triangle monsters, or the Three Little Shadows. Basically, the Umibozu are kind of like sea shadows or whatever that will attack, sailors and people on ships or whatever, unless you put out a sacrifice or kind of like a tribute to them in the form of something in a barrel. And what do they find right before going to the bark? They found a barrel. Now I believe there was a character on it, but still there was a barrel right out in the sea, and then later in the arc these things appeared. I don't think it's a coincidence that Oda has been dropping all these hints and all these things that suggest that there are maybe a higher power. There are definitely anomalies in One Piece, people being born out of of crossbred races and everything, Nonetheless though, this is a very interesting topic that I definitely want to see someone that is, smarter than me, because I'm not the smartest, you know what I'm saying? But I want to see someone that is maybe more educated and does more, in-depth research in this topic. But if you did like the video and have anything else you want me to talk about, definitely go in those comments and share those thoughts, anything you want to really talk about, and hit that like button, subscribe, turn on post notifications, go in that description. Once again, I know you forgot because I told your ass all the way in the beginning, and I know you watched all the way through this video. Join that Discord, come chill with us, you get a chance to come hang out on stream and all that. Go follow my Twitch as well. Man, Monday stream was hilarious, dog. You're definitely missing out. You definitely missing out if you're not coming to chill with us. But until next time, peace.